Hey, have you ever worn a smile while deep inside you felt completely unseen? As if people appreciate you only for your actions, while your true self remains hidden in the shadows. Kindness is a radiant quality, but kindness without limits has a way of silently shattering you from within. Think about answering those late night calls you didn't want, taking on extra responsibilities that weren't yours, or being the steady listener for everyone else while your own world feels like it's crumbling. Many generous hearts give until there's simply nothing left to give. This is especially true for empaths, people pleasers, and highly sensitive souls. You might have been taught that being a good person means being endlessly accessible, but I need you to understand. Kindness without boundaries isn't just tiring. It can become a genuine danger to your well-being. Ernest Hemingway captured this perfectly when he wrote, "The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too." If you constantly feel depleted after being nice, it's a sign. Your own kindness might be the very thing harming you. Let's explore why. First, let's talk about the neurochemical trap. A little brain science for you. When you help someone, your brain releases dopamine, that feel-good chemical, creating what psychologists call the helper's high. Being kind makes you feel connected. Helping makes you feel useful, needed, and significant. But here is the trap. Your brain doesn't have a built-in shut-off valve for this. So, if you grew up being praised as the good one, or learned that love was something to be earned, your brain wired itself to pursue approval at any price. You end up pouring from a cup that is already empty, chasing a validation that never truly satisfies. Recall the last time you said yes when every fiber of your being wanted to say no. Did it leave you feeling energized or with a quiet, simmering resentment? If you're a natural giver, the people around you likely nurture that trait. While their intentions may have been positive, this conditioning makes it dangerously easy to fall into a pattern of chronic self-sacrifice. This is the reality for so many empaths, people pleasers, and HSPs. You start to believe your kindness equals your worth. You think that if you just love more intensely, remain more accommodating, and give more generously, everything will finally be okay. You believe that being the perpetual helper, fixer, and peacemaker will guarantee you are loved. But here is the secret no one shares. Kindness without boundaries doesn't replenish you. It drains you completely. And because you've trained your brain to believe your value depends on how much you do for others, the simple act of setting a boundary feels unnaturally difficult, even wrong. You need to ask yourself a critical question. Is this real kindness? Or is it a survival strategy cleverly disguised as kindness? This leads to a life that looks full but feels hollow. A busy schedule is not the same as true belonging. When your days are spent overcommitting, rescuing others, over-explaining, and apologizing, your external life can appear packed, while your internal world feels achingly empty. This often connects to a trauma response known as fawning, a pattern of people-pleasing you develop to stay safe or feel worthy of love. If you grew up in an environment where love felt conditional, fawning likely became your survival blueprint. Now, your brain has mistakenly linked self-sacrifice with safety. Remember that neurochemical trap? All these experiences train you to become an expert at meeting everyone else's needs while quietly, systematically ignoring your own. So ask yourself again, honestly, is this true kindness or is it survival mode in a kind person's clothing? Listen closely. You're not unkind for saying no or for needing space. You're simply learning how to be in relationships without abandoning yourself in the process. You are not unkind. You're learning to stop leaving yourself behind. Here's a hard truth. You build resentment, but you're too nice to ever let it show. Resentment doesn't always explode in an angry outburst. More often, it simmers quietly beneath your polite smile. When you're excessively kind for too long, swallowing your hurt, shelving your needs, a slow, corrosive bitterness begins to creep in. And because you are the nice one, you might even feel guilty for merely acknowledging that resentment exists. That makes sense. Guilt often arises when we care deeply about others. But if that guilt consistently stops you from honoring your own needs, it's time to re-examine what it's really protecting. Resentment must be acknowledged, or it will fester and grow. Your feelings of frustration and exhaustion are not character flaws. They are urgent warning signs from your mind. They signal that your own needs have been neglected for far too long. Your kindness meter is already in the danger zone. Suppressed resentment doesn't just strain your relationships. It actively eats away at your self-esteem, whispering the toxic lie that your feelings don't matter. But remember this, you have just as much right to feel, to ask, and to protect your own heart as anyone else. So, what have you been swallowing down just to keep the peace? Now, let's talk about how to heal and find balance. If you're watching this, you're probably exhausted. You've given until there's nothing left, and somehow you still feel guilty for wanting to stop. Remember, guilt isn't inherently bad. Its presence often means you care deeply. But when your guilt constantly overrides your fundamental needs, it becomes toxic. So, how do we solve this dilemma? Here are a few simple, effective, and expert-backed strategies you can try. 1. Always know the why behind your yes. Next time someone asks you for a favor, pause. Take a few deep breaths and ask yourself, am I being kind because this reflects who I truly want to be, or because I'm afraid of upsetting them? Am I saying yes out of genuine love or out of fear? Acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, teaches us that decisions based only on emotions like fear or guilt will inevitably backfire. Living by your values, not your fleeting emotions, creates a kindness that has integrity. So, choose to help others when it aligns with your core values, not when it's just appeasing your anxiety. If you can't tell in the moment, give yourself time. Continue to ask how you truly feel. The honest answer will emerge. 2. Tune into your body's no signals. Your body often knows the truth before your mind catches up. Before you agree to something, scan your body for tension. A tight chest? A knotted stomach? Shallow breathing? Somatic psychology tells us these aren't random. They are intelligent warnings from your nervous system. Trust this physical discomfort as valuable information. Do not override your body's distress signals just to appear kind. 3. Build assertiveness, not aggression. Kindness without assertiveness breeds that quiet resentment we talked about. A 2012 study found that when you sacrifice for others but hide how you really feel, you end up feeling worse, more negative, more stressed with lower self-esteem. Your relationships also suffer as a result, creating distance from the very people you try to please. Assertiveness training helps reverse this. It reduces anxiety, boosts confidence, and improves communication. Being assertive doesn't mean lashing out. It means clearly and calmly expressing your needs. Try using I statements, I need more time to think about this, and set clear limits. I can help for 30 minutes, but then I need to go. You don't need to become less kind. You need to become as kind to yourself as you are to everyone else. Start with small boundaries. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. That's not realistic. Experts suggest beginning with small, manageable boundaries. Take a few hours to reply to a text instead of answering immediately. Say no to one unimportant request. Politely decline a last-minute favor. Remember, healing begins when you stop asking, am I good enough for others? And start asking, am I being good to myself? Practice self-validation. Kind words to yourself can heal the desperate need for outside approval. Therapists call this self-validation. When you feel the old urge to prove your worth through kindness, pause and remind yourself, I am enough, even when I say no. I can survive this temporary guilt. My needs matter too. Replace guilt with self-trust. Think of it like this. When you say no to protect your energy, you're not being cruel. You are preserving your kindness so you can continue to give it genuinely where it truly matters. Rewiring these deep patterns takes time. So, please be patient and gentle with yourself. Surround yourself with friends who respect your boundaries, not just those who enjoy your kindness. Please remember this. You are never meant to pour endlessly until you're empty. You are not here to earn love by abandoning yourself. You're allowed to be both kind and firm. You are allowed to receive as much as you give. And you are worthy, profoundly worthy, even when you're not giving anything at all. Still feeling burnout from being too kind? We're considering creating a self-assessment quiz to help you identify traits or habits you may have developed as coping mechanisms. If you feel such a quiz could be helpful, let us know in the comments below with a Y or an O. We also made a previous quiz to help determine if you're a people pleaser. We'll put the link for that in the description below. Thank you for being here. We love you, and we'll see you soon.